Let me ask you this. When was the last time you had an absolutely awful kind of day? No, not just a bad day, but I mean a truly terrible one. Because I know for me, there was one that was just not that long ago. In fact, my wife and I had a fight right before work. I dropped the ball on 3 different projects that people were counting on me for, and on my way home, I got pulled over by a cop. Have you ever had that kind of day? In fact, maybe yours was last month or last week. Maybe it was yesterday, or maybe even today is just not going well for you at all. You see, there's a test or a diagnosis that you're anxious about the results, or you're unsure how in the world the money in your bank account will be left to the end of this month. You see, when our life isn't going as we planned, and we feel like we're all off course and unsure about how things will ever get back on track, what if we could shift our perspective and see the world differently, see our circumstances differently? In the Bible, in the book of Matthew, there's a story about a guy named Joseph who, let me just tell you, had one heck of a bad day. Joseph is engaged to a woman named Mary, and they're young and in love, but not married yet, when he finds out that his fiancée is unexpectedly pregnant. It's an episode of Jerry Springer in the Bible. I can imagine him saying, like, "Excuse me? This is not our plan. This is not what I signed up for. What the heck is going on?" Better yet for Joseph, it's not even his kid. Mary's a virgin, and she's saying that God got her pregnant. Imagine being Joseph in this moment. Well, you see, he was a good guy, and he was trying to do the right thing, because at first Joseph wanted to quietly leave Mary and not humiliate her. However, when he was praying about it, he realized that he was part of a larger story, one that rewrites bad circumstances for miracles to happen. You know, there's many times in my life where I feel like things are not going according to plan. I'm sure you can relate to that, but I also know that there's many times that we've decided that things are terrible before ever considering what God might think about them. What if God has a purpose for our problems? You see, Joseph shifted his perspective. He sets a good example of leaning into our relationship with God first before making a decision. And it helped him, and it can help us when we can see things that we couldn't otherwise see. I want you to imagine with me for a minute that you're sitting on a sidewalk and you're watching a parade. The cars and floats are passing by you, and when they're within your view, you can see everything that's going on. But then they go out of your line of sight. Your perspective is limited from where you sit, and you can't see where the parade ends. You see, if the things in our lives are moments passing by like a parade, we realize our view is short compared to what the entirety that lies ahead. God sees the beginning to the end, all the way through. He sees the big picture. And although the outcome may not be what we expect, when we realize that God has a larger perspective that only He can see, and when we invite God into the mess, the unexpected aspects of our lives, we can eventually hand over the things that don't make sense. And when those frustrating moments occur, when life gets interrupted, and when all you want to just say is, "Excuse me, what the heck is going on?" you have an opportunity to lean into a loving relationship and trust the only one that can see where the story is going. I encourage you today to lean into a relationship with God and ask the question, what's my next right step along my journey? It may just shift your perspective.
Thanks so much for tuning in to Thought in 3. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything happening at the Journey.